Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce a writing skill concept to all of you, which is notice writing. Through this presentation, I'll explain the different aspects of writing a notice. So, let us begin. Dear students, a notice is a very common thing, right? You all must have come across different sorts of notices in your everyday life. But have you ever wondered what is exactly meant by a notice? Well, a notice is an important piece of information. It is, after all, a medium of communication. Through a notice, an announcement or intimation is made about something impending in the future. Moreover, a notice is meant for a large number of people. Alright? Well, the most important element of any writing skill topic is its format. So, let us now learn about the format of a notice. Dear students, you must begin with writing the word notice. After that, you have to write the name of the issuing agency or authority. This is to be followed by the heading or subject of the notice in brief. Now, while writing these 3 points in the notice, you all have to remember that all these 3 points should be written exclusively in capital letters only, and they have to be placed centrally aligned, as you all can see on the screen. So the word notice, then the name of the issuing authority, and after that the heading or the subject of the notice must be written at the very center of the box. Alright. Now, you might come across a little variation as regards the placement of these 3 points in some of the practice papers or reference books. However, you all need to stick to writing in this particular way only. Alright. Now imagine that you have written these 3 points of the notice. After that, you are to leave space in between. Alright. So you have to leave a line space and then you come to the next point, that is to write the date of issuing the notice. Now herein I would like to stress on the point that you are not required to write the word date. Most often we come across students who even write the word date in the notice, which is not at all required on your part to do. Alright. And when it comes to writing the date of a notice, please remember that you have to follow this particular format of writing the date. As for example, 29th June 2020. So this is the correct format. However, if you write in this particular way, 29.06.2020, then let me tell you that it is not the correct way of writing the date in the notice. So you all have to bear this in your mind that the exact way of writing the date in a notice is always this particular format only. Alright? Now once again you're supposed to leave a line space here. Alright? And then you come to the most important segment of the notice. which is the body or the content of the notice, about which I'm going to talk at length in my next slide. Alright, now let us assume that we have written the body or the content of the notice. Once again, leave a line space and then you have to put your signature. So here the word signature refers to the signature of the issuing authority, which is to be followed by the name of that particular person. And then finally, you're supposed to write the designation of the issuing authority or the person who issues the notice. Alright, and remember children, while writing these 3 points, you are not required to leave any gap in between. Alright, just the way you're not supposed to leave any line space in between all these 3 points as well. So this is all about the format of a notice. You all have to keep in mind the exact and precise way of writing a notice. This is extremely important for all of you to keep in mind. Alright? Now, let me discuss about the content or the body of a notice. Dear students, here are some of the important details regarding the body or the content of a notice, which you all have to keep in mind while writing a notice. Remember to begin your notice in a proper way. For that, you can make use of sentences like, this is to inform all the members or students. In place of this particular sentence, you can also say all the members or students are hereby informed that. So whatever it is, you all need to keep in mind that there should be a proper beginning of your notice. Next, your notice must answer some of the questions. Alright, and the first question is regarding what. So you have to specify what exactly is the event about which you are writing the notice. You also need to mention clearly the very purpose of writing your notice. Secondly, your notice must answer the question for whom it is meant. So, the specific group has to be clearly stated for which the instructions are meant. Alright? Right after that, you have to answer the questions like when and where. So you have to clearly mention some of the details like time, date, venue or place. So while writing a notice, just keep in mind that you have to write the time, date and venue of the particular event about which you are writing the notice. Next of all, you have to write some of the special instructions as regards the event. Alright? So what is expected of the people to do after they read your notice? This has to be clearly mentioned in your notice. Alright? As for example, you are writing a notice regarding an inter-house competition in your school. So, the willing participants are expected to submit their names by so and so date. Besides this particular point, what else instructions you want to give to them? So this is something that all of you have to mention in your notice. Alright. So as I have said to you just now, The deadline or the last date of submission of names when it comes to some competitions or events has to be properly mentioned in your notice. Alright? And just like the way you have started to write the notice with a fine beginning, in the similar way, you have to end your notice properly by making use of sentences like, for further details, contact the undersigned. So remember children that all of you need to stick to writing this particular sentence in the end of your notice. The sentence is, for further details, please contact the undersigned. So, this is all about some of the important details that all of you have to remember while writing the body or the content of a notice. Alright. Well, let me now share with you all some of the key points to remember while writing a notice. Alright. Let me first draw your attention to the point that the language of a notice has to be purely formal and polite. As you all know, a notice is a formal written expression, and as such, the language of a notice must be strictly formal and polite. In no case you are going to make use of words or expressions like hello, how are you, or even thank you. Alright, this is not acceptable. Secondly, let me tell you that a notice must make use of indirect form of narration, which means that you are not supposed to quote anything or use the direct form of narration in your notice. The third point relates to the use of passive voice as far as possible. So, when it comes to writing a notice, try to make use of sentences in the passive voice. A simple example of passive voice sentence pattern could be, all the interested students are requested to submit their names to the undersigned. So you can see here the use of passive voice. Alright. Next of all, don't use first or second persons like I, me, you, we, etc. So you have to avoid using the first and second person pronouns in your notice. After that, you all have to keep in mind another very important point when it comes to notice writing. Alright? This is that a notice must be short, compact and precise. So your notice has to be written in such a way that it is precise and to the point. So you have to avoid writing the unnecessary details. Alright. Next of all, let me talk about another point, which is that there has to be substantial difference between the date of issuing the notice and the exact date of the event. So my dear students, when you write dates in your notice, you have to pay extra attention about the mention of the same. It is because there has to be enough difference between the date of issuing the notice and the exact date that you are mentioning as regards the particular event about which you are writing the notice. Alright. Next, let me talk about another significant point about notice writing, which is its word limit of 50 words. So, you all have to stick to writing your notice within the prescribed word limit of just 50 words. So, you're not supposed to exceed this prescribed word limit of a notice. Alright. Next, you have to put your notice in a box. Alright. And then you also must remember to focus on your presentation and clarity. So whatever you write in your notice, you have to be very clear about the same. Alright. At the end, let me talk about the marking scheme of a notice. As you all know, a notice is a short composition question which carries 4 marks in the examination. Alright? And here is the division of that particular marks. Alright? The format of a notice carries 1 mark, the content carries 2 marks, and then expression has got 1 mark. So in total you have 4 marks allotted for a notice writing question in the examination. So my dear students, these are some of the key points which all of you need to follow while writing a notice. Alright. Dear students, let us now have a look at some of the sample notices which will give you an overview of the process of writing a notice, and at the same time you will get to know how exactly a notice is to be written. Alright? So let me begin with the first sample notice, which is all about. So here I am reading out the question first of all. As the president of the literary club of your school, you are organizing a program on public speaking for the students of classes 11 and 12 of your school. As a part of the program, you will be inviting a few television anchors. Write a notice giving some important details of it to be displayed on your school notice board in not more than 50 words. Alright, so here is the answer of this particular question. As you all can see, the first 3 points are written, which are in capital letters and they are centrally aligned. Notice Delhi Public School Duliajan and then public speaking program. So this is the heading or the subject of the notice. Preceding it, the name of the issuing authority, that is Delhi Public School Duliajan, and then above it is the word notice. Alright. A line space, and after that you have the date 29th June 2020, and then comes the body part of the notice. To enhance the speaking skills of students, the literary club of the school is organizing a public speaking program for the students of classes 11 and 12 on 25th July 2020 at 9:30 a.m. in the school auditorium. Famous television anchors from NDTV and Times Now will grace the occasion to encourage the participants. Interested students must contact the undersigned for more details. And then what follows next is the signature, name, and then the designation of the person who is issuing this particular notice. Alright, so you all have got to know how this notice about an important event of the school is being written. Alright, now let us have a look at another sample notice, which is notice number 2, right? This question is all about yoga and meditation course that is being planned by the Secretary of Crescent Housing Society. So, the Secretary is writing this notice for the Society's notice board, giving necessary details of the course and at the same time requesting the people of the society to join the course. So let us see how this notice is being written. Alright. Notice Crescent Housing Society, Dwarka, New Delhi. Yoga and Meditation Course, 29th June 2020. A 2-week course in yoga and meditation has been planned for the residents at the Society's Central Park in collaboration with Baba Ramdev Nature Cure Society, Haridwar, from 10th of July to 23rd of July 2020 between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily. The course would impart techniques on how to keep oneself fit and healthy and cure ailments. Registrations start from tomorrow at the community hall. All the residents are requested to join the course. Then it is being signed by the secretary. After that, his name is written along with the designation. Alright, so as you have seen in this notice about an upcoming event, all the details of the same are being mentioned. Alright, so you could see the dates being stated here, that is July 10th to 23rd of July 2020. Then the timings are also mentioned over here, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily. After that, when the registrations are going to start and exactly this is also being stated in the notice. So my dear students, in this way we have to follow all the finer details about writing a notice. Alright. Dear students, here is sample notice number 3. Alright. The question for the same goes like this. You are the head girl or head boy of Cambridge International School, Noida. Your school is going to publish the annual magazine Reflections in the month of December. Write a notice for the notice board of your school inviting students to submit write-ups. Alright, so let us see how this notice is being written. Notice Cambridge International School, Noida. Call for submissions, 29th June 2020. This is to inform all the students that our school is going to publish its annual magazine Reflections in December 2020. All those who wish to contribute can mail their entries to cisnoida@gmail.com. Students can write on any topic of their choice. Write-ups will be accepted latest by August 30, 2020. For further information, contact your respective class teachers, and then it is being signed by the head boy of the school. So, as in the previous sample notices, you all might have seen how the details of writing a notice are being religiously followed in this sample notice as well. Alright? As you all can see, the first 3 points are written in capital letters and they are centrally aligned. After that, the date is being written and then the content or the body of the notice is being written. Alright, so this question relates to the entries for the school magazine, and that is why the last date of submission of entries or write-ups is being categorically mentioned over here, that is August 30, 2020. At the same time, on what topic the students can write, this is also mentioned over here. Alright, and at the same time you could see that the medium of submission of entries is also stated very clearly, that the students can contribute their write-ups through mail. Alright, so like this, we'll now look into some more sample notices, okay, for our understanding of the process of writing a notice. Alright. Dear students, so far you have seen 3 sample notices, right? Out of these 3 sample notices, 2 of them were about some of the events and one of the notices was all about inviting entries for the school magazine. Now let us take up another important category of notice writing, which is notice on trips and tours. So here is the sample notice for which is all about an educational trip to Jaipur, and this notice is written by the Secretary of Eco Club of Modern High School, New Delhi. Alright. So here is the content or the body of this particular notice. All the students of classes 9 and 10 are hereby informed that our school is organizing an educational trip to Jaipur for 2 days on 9th and 10th August 2020. A luxury bus has been hired for the tour. A sum of rupees 5,000 has been fixed per head for it. The bus will start on 8th August in the evening and is expected to return on 11th August in the morning. Students willing to participate in the tour are asked to submit their names along with a consent letter from their parents on or before 5th August 2020 to their respective class teachers. For any further details, contact the undersigned. So dear students, you all have to keep in mind some of the important details when it comes to writing a notice on trips and tours. Firstly, you all need to exactly specify the dates on which the trip is scheduled. As you all can see in this particular notice, the dates have been mentioned as 9th and 10th of August 2020. Secondly, you also have to write about the exact mode of traveling, that is transport, and here it is a luxury bus. Alright. Thirdly, you are going to specify about the exact amount of money which has been charged per head for the trip, and in this question it is rupees 5,000 per student. So like this you have to mention about some of the important details regarding the trip or the tour. Okay, and then finally you can see here, the students are being asked to submit their names along with a consent letter from their parents. Along with that, they are also being requested to do the same before a stipulated time or deadline. So, my dear students, you all have to follow similar kind of ideas when it comes to writing a notice on trips and tours. Alright? Dear students, so far you have seen 3 sample notices, right? Out of these 3 sample notices, 2 of them were about some of the events, and one of the notices was all about inviting entries for the school magazine. Now, here is another important category of notice writing, which is notice on trips and tours. So, here is sample notice number 4, which is all about an educational trip to Jaipur. This notice is issued by the Secretary of Eco Club of Modern High School, New Delhi. Now, I'm going to read out this particular notice. Alright. All the students of classes 9 and 10 are hereby informed that our school is organizing an educational trip to Jaipur for 2 days on 9th and 10th August 2020. A luxury bus has been hired for the tour. A sum of rupees 5,000 has been fixed per head for it. The bus will start on 5th August in the evening and is expected to return on 11th August in the morning. Students willing to participate in the tour are asked to submit their names along with a consent letter from their parents on or before 5th August 2020 to their respective class teachers. For any further details, contact the undersigned. So, as is well evident from this particular notice, there are certain guidelines which all of you need to follow while writing a notice on trips and tours. Alright, these guidelines include mentioning about the exact dates of the intended trip. Alright, then one is also supposed to write about the mode of transport. Alright, and then you are also asked to write about the amount of money which you are going to charge per student for that particular trip. Besides that, certain other details have to be mentioned, as you all have seen in this sample notice number 4. And all these details have to be followed religiously when it comes to writing any notice on this particular subject matter. Alright. Now, finally, let me take up the last segment of sample notices, which are all about notice writing on lost and found. And we are going to learn about it through the sample notices given here. So what do you mean by lost and found notices, right? If at all, at any point of time, you have lost some important things, in that case, you can very well write a notice informing people about that particular loss. In the similar way, if ever you come across a thing, in that case also, you can put up a notice that you have found certain valuable product or thing. Alright, so how to go about writing these kinds of notices? Let us try to understand by looking at these two samples. The first one is all about lost wristwatch. Alright, so here goes the content of this particular notice. A Titan wristwatch with a blue dial and a black strap has been lost in the school playground on 15th June 2020 during the recess. Anyone who finds it is requested to return it to the undersigned. A suitable reward is promised. So, my dear students, when it comes to writing a notice on anything that you have lost, you're supposed to provide certain details about the item or the thing that you have lost. Alright. Now let us understand how to write a notice on certain things that you may have found somewhere. Alright. So this sample notice relates to a sports bag that has been found. Alright. This is to inform all the students that a sports kit bag was found on the playground on 21st of June 2020 during the recess. Anyone who has misplaced a grey sports bag with huge pockets and a purple water bottle inside it can claim it from the undersigned within 2 days by providing proper justification. Alright, so here also you might have noticed that when it comes to writing a notice on the situation of finding something important, in that case also you have to provide certain details about the product that you have found. Alright. And when it comes to writing a notice on the situation of loss, in that case, you can very well write about a suitable reward that is promised to the finder of that particular thing. Alright. So, dear children, this is all about the final segment of sample notices about which you have learned just now. Alright. So, with this, I have come to the end of the discussion on notice writing. I hope that all of you could understand the different aspects of writing a notice. I'm sure this presentation will definitely help you to tackle any questions when it comes to notice writing. With this hope, let me conclude. Keep practicing and keep learning. Thank you.